They will bring in an independent accounting, auditing firm, whatever your favorite term is, to do a review of the way they collect and manage data associated with details and overtime to put together and make recommendations to them about what the best way to ensure on a go-forward basis that the information they have is accurate and consistent with what people's expectations are with regard to troop assignments, decisions, deployment, and supervision. The sentiment on our end is as long as they do the work that's associated with maintaining them and continue to invest in them and do so in a way that's consistent with what I would call the standard traffic patterns coming on and off the island, which I do believe in this particular case they're trying to treat appropriately. I'm okay with that. Well, I think it has more to do with the private part than it does to do with the public part. To make a public-private partnership work, you have to have a revenue stream that pays off the private investment. And most of the folks who looked at this concluded that there wasn't enough congestion, enough times for somebody to generate the revenue that would be required to pay off the cost of actually building the bridge. That the congestion issue is time limited, and the price you'd have to charge to actually make the math work on building another bridge, even if you provided public support for that, wasn't enough to actually make the math work on how it would be funded and paid for and returned. The bigger issue associated with that one is the inability to get automobiles onto the island for any period of time is a gigantic problem. And for the folks who are living there year-round, it's a really big problem. And we've reached out to and talked to the folks at the Steamship Authority and basically said, if there's anything we can do to help you solve whatever problem it is you need to solve, we will help you, because that's a huge issue. And the message we got back was that they are fairly close to being in a position where they're going to be able to run automobile carrying ferries shortly, and the rest of the other ferry that was being repaired is going to be back in the water shortly. I guess the way I would answer that question would be to say, if I thought our involvement would improve the likelihood that something like this wouldn't happen in the future, then it would absolutely be worth talking about. We're one of the only states in the country that saw a drop in deaths year over year in Massachusetts. I hate to even have conversations about progress when you're talking about something that still is significantly awful as this, but...
And year-over-year data as opposed to 5-year data means...
Well, no, but we broke a trend. I mean, you had 10 years of double-digit increases, which in many years were 20 and 30% increases, and we saw an 8% drop. Literally, the line had been going like this for a decade, and it went like that in 2017. And by the way, fentanyl was present in overdose deaths in about 28% of the cases in 2014. It was present in 83% of the cases in 2017. If fentanyl hadn't suddenly appeared on the scene, I think our data would have been a lot better. But we also had a big reduction in prescriptions. Almost all the prescriptions in Massachusetts that are getting written using the prescription monitoring program that we put in place. We've gotten very positive feedback from most of the prescriber community about that. We significantly increased our investments in treatment. We added 1,100 treatment beds over the course of the past 3 years, most of which were in communities where some of our biggest issues with respect to overdoses generally were. We're one of like 3 states, according to the CDC, that actually saw a flattening out in our overdoses year over year.